Ho, 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 and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I'm still tackling the random holiday movies that streaming services throw at you this time of year. This one is The Night Before Christmas in Wonderland. It's on Hulu, and it does not have audio description. So in case you were interested in it, abandon hope, all ye who enter. I still sat through it. I don't know why, but um, so at first I get slightly concerned when product seems to have gotten pushed when from these major companies that have their own streaming services, sort of like when DreamWorks had Orion and the Dark dropping on Netflix. I was like, this can't be good. Like, this is not, because if it was good, Peacock would have wanted it, at least for a streaming original. Since DreamWorks is owned by Universal, why would they sell it? I felt the same thing with Senior Year, which was a Paramount movie that was being pushed to Netflix as a Netflix original. Like, Netflix picked it up. I'm like, but Paramount Plus has they have their own service. Why are they selling movies? So this had da na 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 na. Oh God, it's Universal. So I don't know if this is DreamWorks Illumination or just some kids who made a film for for Universal. But when I heard that immediately, I was like, oh my God, no, this is not going to be good. And it's not. It's not a good movie. It's a film that your kids might like, though, because we do throw a lot of just sort of like really random holiday crappy movies of them all the time. Just like, well, it's fun. It takes place in Christmas, and maybe like the newness of this will hit, but no one's gonna make this a regular thing in their family. Basically, Emilia Clarke plays. I want to say, I actually want to say it's the White Queen for Wonderland and not the Queen of Hearts, but maybe I'm wrong. One of the queens in Wonderland. It's really kind of irrelevant because you never feel like they're actually in Wonderland. All of the other Wonderland characters are sort of missing. It's just sort of this battle between Santa Claus and the Queen of Wonderland. And that's kind of one of the things that, I mean, they mention, that, the story is that there's a present that didn't get to her in time or something like that, so she canceled Christmas in Wonderland, so it's not there, and Saint Nick is trying to like make up for it, but she's at war with Saint Nick for like the whole movie, and he eventually just like loses and goes home, but he's like, oh, but all those poor kids in Wonderland, it's and so he has to like think about how can he get through, and was this experience between the two of them enough to change her mind and change her hearts about Wonderland. It's a little bit like Christmas Carol but without ghosts, just Santa Claus, actually no, Saint Nick trying to come in, and they're very clear his name is Saint Nick in this, trying to come in and change it so that the queen lifts the rules and that Christmas can be celebrated once again and other people in Wonderland can receive presents. So yeah, I would say the film doesn't take full advantage of its setting. The music is quite awful at points where I considered muting the movie, but then I was like, but I wouldn't know when they were done. So that's the thing, is like, sighted people, you get to have visual cues. I don't. So I don't know I don't know, and I could end and like be like, oh, I way overguessed. That must have been a short song, you know. So I just had to sit there listening to. Anyway, um, the funny thing is this one, because almost no one has seen it, has like 47 views or something like that on IMDb. It has like a 7 point something right now because like everybody else has been like, I don't know what this is. I don't want to watch that. But people seem to be coming in hot, coming in high on it. And so if you were to check out the score on IMDb, you'd be like, oh, this is a good movie. I'm like, no, it's just an underseen movie. Like, I don't think there are that many of me on YouTube reviewing it, let alone a blind person telling you it's kind of a pain in the ass to follow without audio description. I can't speak to the quality of animation. There has to be a reason why Universal abandoned this. It can't just be to generate cash. Because if you notice, like Warner Brothers has found it more profitable to just take a film that is fully completed, major films, and just delete them. Like, use it as a tax write-off. Pretend like the film never happened. And first of all, it should be illegal. Like, we should literally be able to say you can't do that. And I don't know why that's a thing. Like, I don't know how you can take something and say, we're going to use this as a tax write-off. However that is, close that loophole real fast, because David Zaslav is way overusing it. There's a difference between we were in the middle of a shoot and our lead actor died, and there's something we can do. You know, we don't want to, we had a contract thing in his contract where we couldn't use his likeness and AI the rest of the film, so now we need it to just, well, we don't feel as confident about the film that we spent a ton of money on, so we'd like to get that money back instead of releasing the movie. I guess Universal's going the route of, I guess we'll sell the movie to Hulu, to Disney. Yeah, it took me a while to even figure out who the voice cast was here, because I was like, nobody was really doing a great job. Like, I know you're going to be like, but Gerard, you didn't recognize Gerard. Listen, Gerard Butler wouldn't recognize Gerard Butler. He obviously doesn't want to be in this. If you want to hear his great vocal performances, like, he's been in other things as a voice actor, like the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. Go listen to that and tell me that he's not more invested in that performance than he is in this one, where he can barely functionally read dialogue at this point. He's like, oh no, but the kids of Wonderland, where will they go? And like, just, Gerard. I can't recommend this movie at all. Like, even, like, I would say it's unwatchable based on the lack of audio description, but even with that, like, even if Hulu was like, oh my god, let's make sure we get him that track, and they send it to me and I watch it again, this is not going to go positive. No amount of audio description is going to save this movie. I just dislike the movie with every fiber of my being. It reminded me of, I thought it was really cheap. It reminded me of, Hulu had a film years ago I reviewed a couple years ago called Fireheart that was on there. That felt very cheap, and it felt like it was aimed at people who don't mind cheap things. I don't know how else to put that. But even that sort of had a little bit more to it, narratively. This doesn't even take full advantage of Wonderland. There are 5 credited voice actors on IMDb for this. 5. And it takes place in Wonderland. So, and some of those characters have to voice characters on Santa's End as well, by the way. Some of those actors. So, yeah, I don't know what's happening with this movie, but I 2 thumbs down. And I'm going to say this is unwatchable. Anyway, sorry, not all Christmas. Man, this has not been a great Christmas season thus far. I've been watching a lot of these Christmas originals. I'm sure there will be one that I'll be like, oh yes, this one is great. This one, because every year there has been one where I'm just like, oh my god, that one. Like, I loved 8-Bit Christmas, like with all of my heart, and I can't wait to watch that again. I didn't want to watch it again like immediately, like the next year, but it's getting to the point where I would revisit 8-Bit Christmas. Um, it didn't quite elevate itself to a every year watch like a Home Alone movie for me, but I did really love 8-Bit Christmas, and that was a straight to streaming title. So, and last year I loved Merry Little Batman. I thought that was really clever and entertaining. So there are films that are released straight to streaming that aren't awful, but this is not. This is awful. This is not one of those hopeful films. Um, and I think Universal knows it, and that's why. Listen, they put Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate on Peacock, and then they got rid of this and Orion in the Dark. First of all, they made the wrong choice. Orion in the Dark is better than Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate, but I think this is probably about the same level as Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate. So, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.